I'm Jaguar.
I'm Pete.
And we are Make Me a Fan. Now, last night, the Encyclopedia, Pete Trerice and I went to Maverick Pro Wrestling's Danger Zone event. And I got to say, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. I got to see a lot of friends.
A lot of friends. See, they're friends to you. They're brand new to the Jag. I don't know these people.
Well, they're going to be your friends.
I hope so. I made some friends last night.
You did.
And I really felt like, okay, Killer Kross, awesome. Chris Bey, awesome. Darby Allin,
amazing.
Awesome. Kathy Campanelli,
amazing.
Awesome. I had a really good time. I met a lot of cool people. And today, we are going to recap this thing for you. We're going to go match by match, wrestler by wrestler, event by event. We're going to talk about what's good, what's bad, what's hot, what's not, and what's next in the world of pro wrestling. So, if you've ever watched the show before, you might notice that things look a little bit different. It seems like perhaps we had a bit of an upgrade, if you will. The room is different. The equipment is pretty much the same.
It's getting there.
But I think we look more handsome. I don't know, the Jags. Yeah. But I got to say this. We have a new co-host. I got to take a moment and give some love to Mr. Pete Trerice. If you watch the show, I interviewed him way back at Bar Wrestling, which was only like a month and a half ago.
That's the long time.
That was a long time in SoCal wrestling days, right?
Yes.
But I interviewed him, and he just blew me away with all this knowledge and all this information, so much that if you look at that old video, the Jag says, you're like a wrestling encyclopedia. And so I said, hey, man, I'm going to call you like Encyclopedia Pete. And I thought, it's kind of cool, but it reminds me of some crappy books I read when I was in elementary school, like Encyclopedia Pete Solves the Mystery. So then Pete came up with the Encyclopedia, which is sick and wrong. I like it. I'm a fan of Encyclopedia. So you will see the hashtag, the Encyclopedia, Pete Trerice. And here's the thing about Pete. Pete watches, I think you said like 30 hours.
20 to 30 hours.
20 to 30 hours of wrestling every week. That's like a second job of wrestling.
And taking photos.
Oh my God. This dude took over 1,600 photos last night at the event. He is a photo machine, but I think the knowledge is even more impressive than the photos. What do you think?
Probably.
Okay, the knowledge blows me away. You can ask this man just about anything you want about pro wrestling, and he will probably have the answer. In fact, I invite each and every one of you clowns watching this video the next time you see us at an event to try to stump the Encyclopedia. Stump the Encyclopedia, ask him a wrestling question, and I bet you a beer, he can answer it.
Oh, well, that's a heavy bet, but I'll try to keep up.
If you make me broke.
I won't, I promise. I will try not to let the Jag down.
I appreciate that. It's a 2-beer maximum, all right? If you stump the Encyclopedia, 1 beer, 2 beer, I'm broke, all right? We're not going to keep going. But I believe your knowledge is so vast that I'm willing to risk some $5 American Legion beer to your knowledge. What do you think?
Fair enough. I will try not to disappoint.
Well, I mean, you're talking to a guy, and we said this before, that's coming from the old school WWE.
Right.
And I'm like, man, all my knowledge is like 1998 to 2002 or 3 or something. You never stopped watching this stuff.
Yeah, well, there was a break a little bit right at about the time he quit in 2002, 2003. It was just a downturn. I really kind of wish that I saw the TNA Asylums, went back and watched all that stuff a couple years ago.
Okay.
Amazing stuff. Like, we would have kept watching.
Yeah.
And that's what evolved into the indies today.
Okay,
so
yeah.
kind of that spirit, a lot of that, the Ring of Honor came up, CZW. I mean, a lot of stuff that we're going to try to cover here on the show.
Sure, yeah.
Fill in that gap.
So I call him the Encyclopedia. And, I mean, really, I was going to call you a wrestling enthusiast, but that's like an insult to enthusiasm, all right? Pete is so much more than an enthusiast. The guy is so freaking knowledgeable, but not only is he knowledgeable, he's freaking hilarious. So now I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I talk a lot of trash. People like to laugh along with the Jag. I hope they're laughing with me and not at the Jag. However, Pete's freaking hilarious. So with all that introduction and without any further ado, let's talk about Maverick Pro Wrestling Danger Zone last night. What's the first match we're going to talk about today?
Well, first I was going to ask you, what did you think of the venue?
You know what? I was a little surprised. I was surprised because, again, it was hot.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I guess the air conditioning had just broken the night before, and the building owner didn't know that, so they didn't pass that along to us.
Oh, okay. See,
So,
I thought it was just a place that didn't have air conditioning.
No, they had it and it was pushing, but it was tough. They had those big fans there, but I thought it was a good venue.
Yeah.
Probably about a couple hundred people.
Yeah, it was quite a few people. I mean, it got busier and fuller as the night went on.
Absolutely.
But the weird thing was there was actually plenty of parking, which we've talked about parking on this show before. The parking can be a nightmare, but there was plenty of parking at this place.
Absolutely. I was just around the corner and it was perfectly
Me too.
safe.
I walked to my car. There was a lady asking me for some change, but other than that, it was uneventful. But I liked the parking. I liked the studio. It's a studio called Film, right?
Yeah.
PHYLM. And they had these wonderful green screens and these beautiful white backgrounds for shooting films or TV shows, or even just photography if you want to rent the actual room to make a show or a movie.
Or photo shoots, anything.
Or photo shoots, yeah. But we were renting it for wrestling. And it was legit. I thought it was a great building. I thought it had great energy.
Absolutely.
When you got inside the room, there was a buzz and you could tell something exciting was about to happen. However, with that buzz comes heat. And that heat had me sweating my tail off. The Jag was sweaty. And it made me feel like I was at bar.
This last couple bars have been really, really hot at Baldwin Park, but yeah.
Man, you remember I showed up in jeans? I will never do that again. If you ever see the Jag at bar wrestling in jeans, I messed up. Something went wrong. Stop me and buy me some shorts, right? Because that was terrible. However, I thought the venue was awesome. I was really impressed with the way and the setup. Now, I went to Santino Brothers a couple weeks ago. They had a similar kind of an archway with lighting and a fog machine. The fog machine looked like something you rent at Party City. Right. And I'm not hating on Santino. You know I love Santino. But it was like, pss, pss, pss. It wasn't like...
Yeah, and you could tell that this was probably either equipment that they had or they had people that had studio equipment.
Yeah.
And the lighting was fantastic. You'll see it in the pictures.
Yes, the lighting was amazing. It looked super duper professional. It looked really awesome, and I was excited. Even before it began, I was excited because the lights were going everywhere. Right. And I mean, you could kind of see through the curtain a little bit. So there was, some of the mystery wasn't there. But, if you look, the right way, you could see the wrestlers in the green room or whatever. But I mean, we're there to suspend reality. We're there to believe, that these guys are, they hate each other or whatever.
There's a conflict to be resolved.
Yeah, right? So we walked in, and Pete, right away, once they opened the doors, you went straight to the best vantage point for photography. You were ready with the photographer's eye, and I was just really along for the ride. But it was super cool. Pete was ready with his, $1 million camera, and my craptastic iPhone 7 did its best. It was like the little camera that could. It was like, I think I can. But man, you have some beautiful pictures. We're going to show some of those. And we set it up so that you could continue to capture those pictures. And I think you want to talk about the first match?
Well, we were nice enough to have a dark match. So that was a bonus. Unfortunately, because of the spur of the moment, they didn't have the card written down. So we don't know the name of the 4 competitors.
I have no idea. I mean, I know 2 guys.
Absolutely.
And I know the name of 1 tag team.
Yes.
So I want to talk about, first and foremost, there was a gentleman wearing Canadian garb.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know his name, so we're going to call him Canada Guy. All right?
But yeah, we'll make sure that there's this picture that you see of his amazingly sparkly jacket.
Yes, Homeboy's gear was intense. Like, he came out looking like $1 million.
Well, it was like the son of Ric Flair and Macho Man.
Yes.
Kind of like jacket. It was phenomenal.
And you know what? The fur made me think of the Great White North.
Oh, absolutely.
It was hot as balls in there, but he looked like he was colder than a mug. So I was like, what's this guy doing? And then he came out and he just owned it.
Oh, yeah.
That guy, man, he had a presence about him that I just could not resist. I was drawn to him before he ever, put a hammerlock on the guy. It was crazy.
And his partner was coming out in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gear.
Yeah, and I wasn't quite sure about that because he looked like the Marty Jannetty to this guy's freaking Shawn Michaels. And I'm not hating on this guy. I don't know them. I imagine they're both wrestling students since it's a dark match. But Canada looked like he was ready. And his partner looked like he just got out of, Gracie Baja, the 630 class. So, not hating, dude. He had good action in the ring, but his look was not all that I would have hoped it would have been.
And then what about their opponents?
The opponent's name, and I remember this, was Fins and Roses. Fins and Roses because the Finn was a gentleman named Piranha, I believe. He was wearing a Piranha mask. He looks, pretty cool. It's like a luchador mask, right?
Yeah.
And his buddy was wearing... He actually had on some nice pants. The pants said, Fins and Roses and had some roses on it. But his shirt, homie was looking like Baron Corbin with the TGI Fridays button down, dude. I was like, hey, homie, did you, just get off work? Like, did you forget the rest of your gear at home? I didn't know what he was doing with that button down.
Yeah, no, I don't either. But good, solid action from the guy with the Canadian gear.
The thing I liked best, I mean, a lot of guys tonight had this, or last night had this, but the Canadian guy talked a lot.
Absolutely.
He talked a lot to his opponents, he talked to the ref, he talked to the crowd. He knew that he was putting on a show, and it was a 3-dimensional show. It wasn't just what was happening in the ring. It wasn't just what was happening outside the ring. It wasn't what was happening in the crowd. It was all 3 freaking aspects of the match. So he talked to his opponent. He talked trash to the ref and to the other guy on the apron. He talked trash to me.
Absolutely.
It was fantastic. And the action was good too. And the guy looks good. He's in shape. I can't say anything negative about the guy. What do you think?
No, I thought they were a great tag team. Definitely a couple of upcoming stars.
Yeah, I think Fins and Roses got the win, I believe.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, but Canada was the real winner according to the Jag. So
there we go.
All right.
So after that, the Maverick, the owner of Maverick, came out and he presented the new titles to the men and the women's champion. What do you think of the champions?
You know what? I Killer Kross. I've heard so much about Killer Kross. I didn't know the guy from Adam. He could have walked up to me at the gas station and asked me for change. I wouldn't have known who he was. But you told me he was awesome. You were right. We'll get to that in a minute. But when they came out, Killer Kross, again, he has a presence about him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He looks like a star. And his presence, even just looking around the ring, I didn't hear him speak. I didn't hear anything. He was just there. And he was, doing his thing, and they brought out the new belts. And the new belts look pretty cool, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, the Jag always keeps it real. I thought the belt for the men was a little small.
Sure. It is pretty though. I do like the play. I like the side plates the most.
They're beautiful. Yeah, you can't hate on the design.
Oh no. Yeah, 30% bigger.
Yeah, it's a beautiful design. I love the design. However, the size, once you put it on Killer Kross, I thought they mixed up the belts for me.
No, absolutely. I was gonna say, and you'll see that kind of in the pictures. If just a smidge bigger.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool to have a bigger belt on the big man like Killer Kross. And then the female champion, the women's champion, Katarina, she was there as well, and of course she was being presented with the belt. However, the owner of Mav Wrestling, who was in there presenting the belts at the time, told Katarina, is it Katarina? Yeah, told her that she has to defend that title right now. She can't leave the ring unless she successfully defends it against Hell's, greatest harlot?
Favorite harlot.
Hell's favorite harlot, Priscilla Kelly, who came out to the ring looking almost exactly like she did on All Out.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Similar gear?
Yeah, I've seen Priscilla wrestle probably 15, 20 times. Phenomenal every time.
Yeah.
Great crowd interaction. The room is just electric when she comes through the curtain.
The guys definitely appreciated her look.
Absolutely.
And they appreciated her ring gear. I appreciated what she did in the ring. There was a good story being told. I think Katarina had some good techniques, some good moves. I feel like, and again, the Jag's not trying to hate. I respect all wrestlers, but let me just say, I felt like they were calling a lot of spots in the ring where I could see it and hear it.
Yeah, that is sometimes the problem being ringside is they're a little too loud.
Yeah, and I'm not digging, of course, it happens in the WWE. We just saw last week on SmackDown when Bayley was yelling, arm drag, So it happens all the time, but it's like, maybe it was just they haven't worked a lot together, or maybe...
And that could definitely be a chemistry thing.
Yeah, the match was great. Katarina hit her with a nice backbreaker. I got a picture of it, which I was proud of, but it's not nearly as cool as Pete's picture. And it was some good action back and forth. And of course, Katarina, the heel, came through with the little dirty tactic and hit Hell's favorite harlot with the new championship belt, which knocked her out for the 1, the 2, and the 3, and she goes home. It was pretty cool. Cool and...
Yeah. No, I thought it was a great match. As you say, Katarina's awesome. She's a vet. I love watching her stuff on Glam. She also does some stuff with Hood Slam up in Oakland.
Yeah.
Bay Area person, so fantastic. I think she's a great champ, and I think she's going to have the title for a long time at Math.
Now, I want to take a quick moment and shout out your boy, the referee there.
Yeah, Isaac.
Homeboy was working his tail off last night.
Isaac's amazing. He is top tier referee here in Southern California.
Shout out to that guy, because he was not only working, but he had, like he pointed out, his facial expressions. Homeboy he sucks you into the match with his
absolutely.
referee.
I take pictures of all the referees out here. Isaac's easily one of my favorites, just because Odie, who did the dark match, he was the other guy that we'll get into later. Odie also amazing top tier ref.
Yeah, amazing guys. I've seen Isaac before, I think at Santino. Yep. And, I guess these guys, I don't know much about the referee game. I really don't know anything about the referee game. So these guys travel around, they do different things, and it was impressive. I thought he did a great job, and he really enhanced the match the way he was refereeing. Yeah. The next match was an interesting one. And when I say interesting, I mean it was very entertaining, and there were some things that happened that made me go, ooh, I'm not sure if that was...
There was some violence among us.
There was some definite violence in the Jag. I cringed a couple times, Pete. I felt bad for these guys. I was really kind of sad the way things were going down. And I don't mean that in sad as in like it wasn't good. I mean sad for the guys that were putting their bodies on the line and going to work to entertain us. So we had Spyder Warrior versus Calder McColl. right?
Yep.
Calder McColl, I believe, is the Highlander, right?
Yeah, Scottish.
He's a Scottish warrior. He came out with some Scottish garb, I think.
Yeah, and he had a skull and chain.
Yeah, that's
phenomenal.
kinda cool, yeah.
He ended up using it later in the match.
Yes, he did, and he used it very creatively, which I appreciated. And the stipulation, of course, is that it was a Chicago street fight. Now, what does a Chicago street fight look like in Los Angeles? I don't know. But I will tell you, these guys got their butts beaten. I'm trying to watch my language.
Absolutely. They were all over film studios, let's just say that.
Yes. There was action here, there, and everywhere. I mean, people got hit. There was all kinds of stuff in the ring.
Trash can.
There was a crutch.
Yeah, they brought a bunch of plunder.
Yeah, there was a tiki torch. I think there was a magnifying glass. I'm like, what are you going to do, burn him like an ant? Like, what's going on? The tiki torch made me think of a Trump march. I was like, oh my God, you're bringing in the Trump march? Come on. And he hit, I mean, dude, when he hit him with that tiki torch, and you could see the bruise
the welt on his
pretty
body.
much immediately, you could see that he paid for that one. And then, of course, they got to the chains with the skulls. And he used it just as a fist pack, and then again they put him in a, what do you call this, bow and arrow?
Yeah, he put him into a bow and arrow submission.
With the chain wrapped around his neck, because that is as legal as a wrist lock, as JR likes to say.
Absolutely.
And you can see in the pictures that we're going to show you can see Isaac killing it in the background.
Oh, absolutely. Isaac's the man in this. I mean, he's the star of that.
Yes, and then what was kind of funny, this is almost like a blooper, right? The other guy, Calder? No, Calder's the Highlander. Spyder.
Yeah,
Spyder set up 4 chairs, and he set up a door. And he couldn't get it on the chairs. So Isaac actually ended up helping him put the door on the chairs, which was kind of cool.
Well, first he got the chair, and the door knocked it down.
Yeah.
But it was fine. But of course, he wanted the chair set up perfectly, so then he had to solicit the help of Isaac.
Sometimes perfection pays. Sometimes you pay for perfection.
Yeah, and sometimes you go through a door in 4 chairs.
That's what I mean. He freaking paid. He paid for it because he got superplexed.
Superplexed into it. Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
It was pretty bad, and that door made a huge thundering noise. I was like, son of a biscuit. I don't think I've ever seen or heard anyone go through a door live. It sounded like $1 million.
It also saved the promoter $1 million because these are cheaper than tables. But honestly, you're going to see a lot of matches with doors. They've become the new hot thing in like 2018, 2019.
They sound great, and they're hollow as crap. So yeah,
and they're safe.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing is that you get the desired effect and remove a lot of risk.
You say they're safe, but after Homeboy went through the door, he looked like he was holding the shoulder or something. Something looked like it went wrong.
No, that's the next match.
That's the next match. I'm sorry, the Jack's getting ahead of himself. All right, but that match was fantastic, and then the next match. Tell us what we saw, Pete.
So it was a it's a tag team match, and then the losers break up. So it started out with Double Dare, and that was Katella Murray and Daniel Moone.
Okay.
And it was against Charming Biagio, Brother Biagio, and Brother Vandergriff. They're called the Promised Land. Charming Biagio is in a evil faction in the same group with Katarina and Joshua. So they're all in this evil villainous faction.
What's the name of the faction?
I don't know, but the Promised Land is the name of their tag team.
And I mean, I saw that Joshua, the manager, was with both groups, so I figured they're connected. They came out with like the Druid gear on, whatever.
Yep. There's probably some stuff that we can probably watch either in their on-demand that would get us caught up on where that is. It's just, I guess probably the criticism and the fair one is it's coming into it not knowing these people.
True, very
It's kind of hard to understand some of it, knowing that these guys are both in the indies and killing it, and then they're in a tag team here.
Yeah,
that makes that much more difference in going. Oh, okay, well now I get that these are evil bad guys.
Yeah, well, Steve and I saw Matt at Santino Brothers. And
absolutely, he's a student there, right?
Yeah, and he was killing it there. He had some good high flying stuff, and so I was expecting to see some more of that, and we did.
Yeah, and that's the thing is similarly, Biagio, he's been doing smaller shows as well here and also up in the Bay Area. You'd also be impressed. He's the same skill level as nice. Great matches.
No, it's super entertaining. Yeah. I thought that the Promised Land, oh man, that chop. Woo.
Yeah, Matt Vandergriff took a horrible chop.
It was a tenderizing chop to the chest. And he felt that one. But it was a solid match. I wasn't quite sure about the other guy's Double Dare.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hate. The Jag does not want to be disrespectful. It was very entertaining. But I wasn't sure what the gimmick was. He had orange soda. He was gyrating his hips like Big E.
Yeah, he was like a 90s Nicktoon kind of.
I guess.
But yeah.
Do Nicktoons gyrate like they're...
I don't know.
It was almost like a Pee Ray vibe for a second, and then they stopped and it was orange soda. I had no idea what was going on. So, guys, I'm sorry. Well, Spoiler alert, they lost. So now they're breaking up.
So maybe it's a good thing.
Maybe it's a good thing because I did not understand the orange soda or the hip swivel. It was like a ravishing Rick Rude /
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. But it was entertaining. The guys had a good match. They told a good story. There was some nice stuff off the top rope.
Yeah, and then Daniel Moone took a really brutal finisher, and fortunately it looked bad, but it was just like a stinger. It wasn't there wasn't a break or anything, so it just horrible bump, but it looked great. It looked like $1 million.
Yeah, it was like a tandem code breaker off the top rope. This guy's face hit the knees. It was impressive. Guys, Promised Land, whatever you call that, please
let us know.
Let us know what you call that move.
Matt, let us know.
Yes, because that move was sick and wrong, but it was also super right because it put him down for the 1, 2, 3, and it looked like $1 million freaking dollars. Hang on to that move because that move looked great.
Absolutely.
So the next match was Killer Kross. Holy smokes. Oh, yeah, this is the last one before the intermission.
Absolutely.
Holy mother of pearl. I finally get to see Killer Kross. I finally get to see and hear what all the fuss is about. I've seen this hashtag Free Killer Kross, which you are probably know that is about his contract with Impact Wrestling. Of course, the Encyclopedia knows, but you probably know that Killer Kross is in a contract with Impact Wrestling, and he feels like he's not being paid what he deserves. And after watching this match last night, I freaking agree. Killer Kross is like $1 million.
Hashtag Free Kross.
Free Killer Kross. Free Killer Kross.
Absolutely. Hashtag Free Killer Kross.
Yes.
We're talking about a guy that is as top tier gets.
That dude is serious.
I mean, legit, and spoiler alert, nicest dude in the whole world, too. Which makes it even better that he's so good at what he does. His intensity is an 11.
Yes, but here's the most beautiful part about Killer Kross. Yes, I met Killer Kross. Yes, the Jag got a picture with Killer Kross. I believe you took pictures of the Jag with Killer Kross. However, the thing that stood out to me, we didn't talk about this yet, but when they were presenting the 2 new belts, they were presenting it to Killer Kross, they were presenting it to Katarina, and when the owner, whatever his name is, started to go put the belt on Killer Kross, he stopped this man and said, "No, ladies first." And I was freaking shocked, and I was like, that was a super cool move. I did not know he was a cool dude.
Because that's Killer Kross.
That's him.
All the time. It's just that when the bell rings, that's when he becomes the killer. Everything else, he is the same dude inside and out. And that's the best part.
Yes.
He was raised right.
You saw that. You noticed that. Yeah.
I know that from knowing the man. The man is one of the nicest guys. Spoiler alert. And this is why he deserves to be paid.
Okay, look. I'm going to say this. I'm going to sound like the biggest fanboy in the world. This man literally changed the way I feel about wrestling. And when I say that, I mean that 100% sincerely. Jaguar out of the thing. Let's just talk Chris Dickens to whoever's watching this. This dude is the nicest guy in the world. And not only is he nice, but he's genuine. And I'm going to just skip to the end and when we met him and pictures and whatever. Screw all that. I sat and had a brief conversation with him, and he mentioned something about his family and how he's doing this for his family. And I said, well, yeah, I got 3 kids. Like, really? What are their names? Like, he wanted to know about my family.
Absolutely.
Because he was talking about his family. It was like 2 guys just sitting and shooting the breeze. It wasn't a guy selling merch, which I did buy a signed autograph. It wasn't a guy trying to promote his business or his profile as a wrestler. It was just a dude. And even after, because he retweeted some of the action that I videotaped, and somebody made a comment, and he's like, look, I'm the same dude. Whether I'm at wrestling or whether I'm at home, I'm the same dude. And that is so freaking true. The dude is super consistent, but when you flip that switch and put him in the ring, he is a brutal freaking machine. Homeboy is strong as hell. He looks great. He's agile. I mean, he's a big guy, but he's not he's not Undertaker big, but he's a big guy.
Yeah,
but he
6'3",
moves.
6'3", bigger guy.
He moves
well
super
built.
well.
Oh, absolutely. And he was up against Darby Allin, who, again, David versus Goliath. So
yes.
we've got a David here, but we're talking about a guy that's got zero fear. I mean, when you learn some of his backstory and why he paints his face and what happened.
Really?
Absolutely. So he's straight edge, and he believes in it, and the dude's amazing. He's a world-class skater, been a professional skater for 10 plus years.
Sweet. Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, I saw the thing with the skateboard with Joey Janela. I didn't realize he was an actual.
Yeah, he was a pro skater for years.
Nice.
And he has no fear. And he and Priscilla Carroll are married. And
really?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then Killer Kross is married to Scarlett Bordeaux.
They're together, right?
Oh, they're dating. They're not married.
They're not married.
Okay, fair enough.
But and Darby, great dude that has a willingness, and as you saw, to throw his body to the wind and just absolutely take it to Killer Kross.
And here's the really cool part. These guys, and I keep talking about storytelling because I personally think storytelling is what's missing from professional wrestling.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'll
make sure to share one of those pictures of where Kross is with the belt. I mean, the guy looks like a champion.
He does. He looks like a champion, and he's greeting the fans, fist bumping the fans, and then we got your boy, the referee.
And then you're gonna. He had a couple of Lope Suicidas. So normally you have the Tope Suicida, that's between the top and the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the Lope, which is between the middle and the low rope.
Okay.
And so a lot of times you'll see a lot of the ladies just do that dive just because it's easier to make that. But to see a very agile guy, and especially seeing some of the bigger guys doing a Lope Suicida is an amazing thing. But Darby is one of the best at the Lopes.
Well, and I got a couple cool videos, which are actually pretty stinking popular online today. I don't know what the Jag did right, but I captured a couple of these, high-risk maneuvers from Darby Allin and some high-impact maneuvers from Killer Kross. And, they told a really great David and Goliath story.
Absolutely. There was a lot of mat action as well.
Yeah.
And you saw Kross being extremely vulnerable. Darby took him to the mat early.
Yes. And then Darby had that, really, one thing I really liked, and first time seeing Darby Allin. I have not seen any of the AEW stuff. Not Double or Nothing, not All Out. I haven't seen any of it yet. But I knew he was AEW. I knew he was popular, so I wanted to see what he did. One of the things that impressed me the most about Darby Allin was the way he would stop and turn on a dime.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not that he's changing direction. Yeah, big whoop, he's changing direction. But even the way he changes direction had a story and a purpose.
It looked effortless when he did a lot of that. And again, that's a lot of that finesse that comes from him being a skateboarder and understanding the subtlety of that.
And seeing that, and you're going, wow, this guy's super agile. This guy's super fast. He can turn on a dime. He can stop on a dime. Gives the match a new level, a new depth. Because you're like, holy smokes,
you saw a couple of Code Reds on the show, including this one where Darby had caught him and they flipped, and it was into like a sunset flip into a pin. Yeah, that's Code Red.
That's awesome.
And so that's done in the air, and then there's a couple other ones we'll get you caught up on. But it's seeing Darby do that to a guy like Kross is just amazing.
And you know what, Killer Kross being a big guy, I was surprised because a lot of times the big guys don't want to go off their feet.
Absolutely.
But he did the damn thing when it came to Darby Allin. Darby Allin, he was climbing back in the ring with the chair, and Darby Allin did this thing, I don't know what to call it, but he's like falling backwards.
Yeah, it's coffin drop.
Coffin drop. So, holy smokes.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that was so amazing.
Yes, and the Jag happened to get a good video of that sucker. See, I'm proud of my video because this is the freaking photographer of the year. But I was like, yo, the coffin drop. That's awesome.
See, that's the photo that we have there, where he did that onto Kross. Yeah, it's just,
which was great timing, man. They didn't, I didn't see it coming.
Right.
And even when you look at the video, I was like, what's going on right here? I didn't know what was happening. Perfect timing. These guys looked like they'd worked together before, which maybe they have. But yeah, it was great. Honestly.
They travel in similar circles, so a lot of these guys, see each other at all the different shows, whether it's on the West Coast, throughout the country, wherever. Even internationally, they all work together at some point, and they always talk about stuff. So I imagine a lot of these guys, that's why it looks so good, is they come from similar circles.
No, it was awesome. Very awesome.
And it ended in a submission because, Kross just absolutely dominated him.
Yeah, he just kind of overpowered him towards the end. And what was the submission called? Do we know what it was?
It looked like it was like a rear naked choke of some kind.
So and
Kross, I apologize. Please don't kill me. I didn't get it right. The name of your submission.
I'm going to scoot away right now. Killer Kross going to burst through the door.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say Kross is going to come in and he's going to put me down.
Dude, that picture is amazing.
Yeah, no, he retweeted that. So we'll make sure to show that picture as well.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's our next match? I can't even. I'm stuck on Killer Kross. I'm not sure what even to talk about next because Homeboy was just.
Yeah. See, then we got to the pictures of Kross, and we'll make sure that we get those ones of you and him.
Yeah, for sure.
With that look, that look is just insane.
Yeah, and the fact that he could just flip it on and take, instantly, that was awesome. Yeah. So we had intermission. We went outside. We got some air. We breathed a bit, cooled off a little bit.
Yeah, came back to a promo with Chris Bey in the ring. It was your first time seeing Bey. What'd you think?
I think Chris Bey is amazing. He has presence, he has swagger, and we can talk about his match in a minute, but the guy is amazing in the ring.
Absolutely. He's got 3 current championships right now.
Yeah.
Maverick Pro Revolution title, Without a Cause champion, and Future Stars of Wrestling. And he beat Killer Kross to win that Future Stars title.
Now that's a freaking accomplishment. Now
so now that we've kind of ranked that, I obviously know the expectation for a Chris Bey match is probably about right here right now.
Yeah, no, it was pretty legit. I didn't know what to expect, but I've heard about Chris Bey multiple times from multiple sources, so I was excited to see what's going on. When Homeboy came out to the ring, and you knew he was a star. He owned it, he walked it, he talked it. He got on the microphone, and he talked about finesse, which I wasn't 100% sold on the whole finesse thing, because I'm like, yeah, fascinating. You got finesse, so what? But It actually,
we're jumping ahead a little bit, but yeah, I was gonna say he delivered on it.
He did.
Yeah, I've been watching Bey for a couple years now, and so it's wonderful. Like this cat is ultra talented.
There's a way of doing a move, and then there's a way of doing a move with finesse.
Oh, absolutely.
And he definitely showed me why he talked so much about finesse. So I didn't quite get it in the promo. I was like, yeah, whatever, finesse. But then I understood it when I saw him in the match later on that night.
Yes.
So we had the promo, and after the promo, we had a triple threat match. Is that right?
Yep. It turned into a triple threat match.
Oh, that's right.
It started with Zicky Dix and Sean Black.
Okay, Zicky Dice? Is it Dice or Dix?
Zicky Dice, sorry.
Okay, and Sean Black. And then some guy came out, and I don't know the guy. Do you know the guy? Have you seen him before? Okay. Was it Iseah Bronson?
Yes.
Iseah Bronson came out, and he really reminded me a lot of Velveteen Dream.
Oh, absolutely. He had a lot of that charisma, smolder.
Smolder, but it also just reeked of Prince. I'm a huge Prince fan.
Oh, absolutely.
And obviously Velveteen is a Prince-inspired gimmick, and so I'm like, this is another Prince-inspired gimmick? Like, how many Prince-inspired wrestling gimmicks can we have? Not hating on Mr. Bronson. Not saying not taking anything away from him, but I was a little surprised at the Prince-ness of the gimmick, since we already have someone doing that at a very high level. That would almost be like coming out as a funeral, mortician character. It's like, we've seen this before, right? But anyway, the action in the ring was pretty legit.
Zicky Dice, first time seeing him, and a lot of people had said that he's a talented guy, and he definitely has a look. Excuse me. There's nobody like him on the scene right now.
Well, he did a thing in the beginning where he had like this string, like a magic trick almost.
Absolutely. Well, he did magic tricks throughout that, and that was kind of part of his gimmick.
That was awesome. The magic trick thing was cool. He had the whole ring covered in paper and string and whatever.
Yeah, they were confetti. Like, you can shoot the confetti out of your wrist. Arquette did that a couple of bars ago when he wrestled Jungle Boy in the main event. But again, we're getting ahead of me educating you on the indies.
Yeah, I'm a little behind, and I struggled to find the word confetti. Thank you for helping me, Jack.
No.
No, but it was a super cool thing. Mr. Sean Black?
Yeah,
Sean Black is a big, powerful, strong man.
Absolutely.
He is a powerhouse, and man, he took like a superplex off the top rope, and you could feel, there was a feel the impact of that move. Those guys had a great match, and I like Zicky Dice, I like Sean Black, and I like Iseah Bronson, except I didn't know what to make of the gimmick in the beginning. Yeah. One thing I will say is that his valet or manager is very committed to the gimmick.
Absolutely.
That person stood there with the umbrella the whole stinking match.
And we've got pictures. We'll have them inside of here.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Absolutely.
So then after that match...
And Iseah won.
Oh, yes. Iseah did win. He took home the W, which is awesome. And after that match, we had someone that I had never heard of before. His name is Owen Travers.
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking trash. I'm just new to the game. So if you know who Owen Travers is.
Familiar with.
And so if you at home know who Owen Travers is, please, I'm a jabroni. I'm new. But he went up against Santa Ana's own Lil Cholo. Lil Cholo came out looking like a Santana guy. He looked like a little Cholo, which was awesome. He came out with the shorts,
and he's a legend. He's a SoCal legend, just like B-Boy and some of the guys that will get you caught up on as well. It's like, Cholo's the man. Love seeing Cholo at shows. He is solid.
Now here's what I want to say about Owen Travers. Owen Travers talks the whole match. Kind of like the Canadian guy.
Absolutely.
Owen Travers started the match by saying, "You wouldn't even shake my hand," and he had immediate heat with Little Cholo because he didn't get the handshake. Then he talked trash to the crowd. Then he talked trash to Little Cholo. He talked trash to the ref. Owen Travers is a talker, and he went after everybody. He had great moves. He had great chemistry. They told a great story.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the third man in the ring, Isaac.
Yes.
Killing it.
Isaac,
and you'll see that as we're sending the photos through here. But, yeah, Isaac as well, again, on point with these killer looks.
Isaac's the man.
Oh, absolutely.
I told him afterward, too. I shook his hand and told him what a great job he did. He's like, man, I don't hear that too often.
Oh, I say it all the time. I'm just saying it, but, yeah, you'll see it in the pictures. There's just so many good moments. And, like I said, Cholo as well, just a master of understanding where to be, where to look.
Yes.
All of it. The polish is there. That's why they put him so high on the card.
This dude is a seasoned veteran of the game. I didn't understand who he was or why he was there. I'm like, who's this guy? But when he got in the ring and he started working, I was like, oh, this guy knows his stuff. Because you were taking a lot of pictures. I couldn't really ask you anything. But just watching the action, and I told you this, the intensity stepped up a couple notches.
Oh, absolutely.
Those guys were faster, more powerful. The energy was just different. You could tell.
Well, they talked the talk, and they walked the walk.
Yes, 100%. And it was going down. They had a lot of good action, some near falls, a lot of good stuff happening.
Cholo picked up the win.
He did. Cholo won. And then as he left the ring, I want to say this. as respectfully as possible. You see, the Jag, I consider myself to be the most prolific and gifted, unsigned wrestling personality in the world. That's big talk from the Jag. Sorry.
That's true.
But I feel that way. And I mean, I have a lot to learn in this industry, but hey, I talk a lot of trash. And I like to be a fan. I like to yell and, yeah, you know, tap him out, make him pay, whatever. I'm that guy, and I try not to be obnoxious. But there was some clown in the audience who was doing kind of like a really rude, over-the-top Mark routine. But he was not just talking trash and rooting for the action in the ring. He was insulting people. He was talking trash to my man, Little Cholo. And Little Cholo was not having any of his BS. Little Cholo took this guy. He actually, like, took a microphone and addressed this guy. And I think he told him something about, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I may be ugly and fat, but at least I got in the ring.
Yeah, but at least I have the balls to get in that
ring.
ring. Yeah, and that's the truth. You can talk a lot of trash in the front row.
He just dropped the mic on him right on the spot and said, and he was like, you wanted to be called out and get your spot? Well, there you go.
There's your spotlight, yeah. So, I mean, in Little Cholo, I am a fan of you and the way you handled that clown. Because that clown was annoying as hell.
He's world class.
Yeah. Do you know the clown?
No, I don't. Okay. I don't know who that guy is.
Now, there are some people who talk a lot of trash. And,
we'll have a picture of that.
Yeah, we got a picture of clown number 1. But a lot of people talk trash and whatever. It is what it is. But I'm glad that Little Cholo shut him down. And the way he did it was expert. It's like taking down a heckler at a comedy show.
Absolutely.
So then after the Owen, Travers, and Little Cholo match, we had a fatal 4-way match.
Yes.
Scramble match between Slice Boogie, Uptown Andy Brown, Ice Williams, and El Mariachi Loco, which, are you familiar with all 4 of these guys?
Definitely Slice Boogie, Andy Brown. First time getting to see Ice Williams, phenomenal cat. We'll get into it.
Yeah, he's from Vegas, right?
Yeah, and then El Mariachi. Great stuff. I put Scramble on there because I don't like to call it Fatal 4-Ways because it loses its impact. A Scramble match is when you have 4 or more people.
Yeah.
There's a promotion we're going to get into that Sammy Callahan owns that has a Scramble champion. So essentially it's going to be like a 5 or 6 person multi-man car crash. Also, when I get you up to speed on GCW, you're going to see that they have their version of it, the CF, and you could probably fill in what that is.
I figured it out.
But so they have their version of a Scramble as well that we'll get you through, and you're just going to be blown away because when done right, especially in these situations, there's immense amount of storytelling, and that's what this is all about, is that entertainment value. And Scramble matches can be done well, and then they can be done not so well.
So I gotta say, because the last video recap that we did, I talked a little bit of trash on Mr. Slice Boogie. Now, it wasn't about Slice Boogie's in-ring work. It was what he said on the microphone after the match. Slice Boogie got some good heat when he came out and talked a little trash to the crowd. Nothing offensive, nothing crazy. So Slice Boogie, good job getting that good natural heat and not that go-away heat. But in the ring, Slice Boogie was awesome. Uptown Andy Brown is awesome.
Oh, Uptown Andy Brown was the longtime championship wrestling from Hollywood. Watch just recently beat him.
Oh, okay, cool.
For that title. So.
Uptown Andy Brown is also the Ground Zero champion,
He's also the Ground Zero champion.
Uptown Andy Brown is the real deal Holyfield. And so
absolutely. He's now a regular at bar, and it's kind of one of those things that if I don't see Andy Brown at bar, I wonder what happened.
Yeah. Well, I said in the first bar review, when everybody was singing and chanting Uptown Andy Brown, his music, everything was great. And I really love Andy Brown. He was kind of the workhorse of the match. He was doing a lot of stuff.
He's a stud.
Yeah, he is. And Ice Williams, who's from Las Vegas, I guess a Future Stars student, right?
Yeah,
or Future Stars talent.
Superstar kid. I mean, like, he's hanging out with Bey, so they're riding in cars.
Yeah.
So good stuff's happening. But yeah, Slice Boogie came out and he always gets the heat with the fans. Everybody, there's most of the people that you see me at wrestling with, I know them. I take pictures of them. They scream and yell at Slice as much as they can.
Yeah, like Anthony. Yeah. And so then El Mariachi Loco was
great guy.
Man, he was killing it. I've never seen him before, but
great presence.
Yeah,
charisma is at a 10 with that guy.
There were 4 stars in that ring. Let's be honest.
Every single one of them was absolutely.
And everybody had their moments to shine, and you'll see some of the pictures and some video. I think I have a couple videos, and it was just amazing. A lot of big spots, a lot of crazy action, and in the end, El Mariachi Loco was the one who won the Scramble match victory. And Slice Boogie, I think he went outside with Ice Williams, and
they were brawling outside, and then at one point Andy turned on him.
Yeah, no, super interesting. And then of course after that we had Uptown Andy Brown. I guess he went after El Mariachi.
So because they had been longtime friends, and Andy turned heel against him.
Oh, okay. And
then of course the Rabbits came out, and it was Kross and Mariachi and another gentleman that I didn't get his name. I'm not familiar with, but
again, we got to do some homework on this because I didn't understand who these guys were. But we had El Cholo, we had Killer Kross, we had this guy in the white suit, and we had El Mariachi that put the boots to Mr. Andy Brown and sent him on his way. So that was a cool way to finish the match.
I see a big feud at Maverick coming up for them.
Yeah, I think so, and I think the Andy Brown can handle it.
Unresolved issue.
I think you're right.
And then we had the main event.
The main event of the evening. Now, the Jag has to be honest. You told me about the Neon Ninja. And I'm like, yeah, Ninja. Sure, whatever you say. Ninja, right? And then this guy came out to the Go Ninja Go Ice.
The Ninja rap.
Yeah, yes. The Vanilla Ice
Ninja
rap from Ninja Turtles 2, which of course I've seen that movie about 1,000 times.
Absolutely.
I know every word to that song.
On top of it, like, great mark out moment right here. At the end, that's Kevin Nash's Super Shredder.
Is it really?
It is absolutely Kevin Nash's Super Shredder.
How did I not know that?
That's one of like the greatest things about that is at the same time he was doing Oz. Oh, we have lots of that. That's going to be into the vault of stuff like early Kevin Nash before Diesel. So remember, this is right before 1994 Diesel.
You have changed my life.
Oh, dude, just you wait till I start connecting the dots with some of this other stuff.
Holy
I will show you the stuff that he did in TNA like about 10 years ago. That doesn't get enough, but then you're going to know about Alex Shelley and some of these other guys. Oh, guys, we have so many episodes. We have so many episodes to get this guy caught up on and make him a fan.
I feel like an infant, like a baby, just getting on solid food. And maybe that's what I need to be because the Encyclopedia has the knowledge and I got the time. So, but this guy comes out to the Ninja Turtles 2 rap song. He's wearing some bright colors. I mean, he has a great look. He gets up on the ring, and I'm like, all right, cool. This guy's pretty legit.
And he also, one of the things that Facade always does, and I'm super proud of him for doing this, is interacting with the fans. He has a Go Ninja Go sign.
Yes.
And he comes to the ring, and he signs it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's always been his thing, is it's like the Bret Hart glasses.
Okay, sweet.
You know, that fan interaction, like, no, it doesn't matter what show it is, they always give that.
It's funny you say that, because after the match, all around his table, all the little kids were at his table.
Yeah, and we'll have pictures of that, where he actually ended up signing it for him. But then
awesome.
Then the main event, Chris Bey came out.
Chris Bey. Is it the Revolution Champion?
The Revolution Champion.
Revolution Champion came out, and he was all about the finesse.
Absolutely.
Now, I got a ton of video. Mr. Bey, thank you for retweeting the video. And Facade, thank you for retweeting the video. Had some really cool spots in this match. I really liked it. I thought it was awesome. I mean, I can't say too much about this, but Chris Bey was
Kid's
amazing.
Kid's a star.
Look, man, I got a video when he came over kind of by where I was sitting of him just kind of pointing to the ceiling with the number 1, and he looks like $1 million.
Oh, he's super polished. He just did Impact tapings.
Yep.
He does Championship from Hollywood, which that's actually filming. Spoiler, it's filming right now on a Sunday in Port Hume, which is on the list of things to hopefully go to at some point.
Yeah, if we could pack a lunch for the road trip.
For the 3-hour round trip.
Yeah, that's no joke. But I will say this.
He's polished. He's done Ring of Honor, Impact. I mean, this kid's a star. If he's not signed in the next 6 months, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would be very surprised if this man is not signed in the next 6 months. However, I want to point this out. And this is almost embarrassing for the Jag. I hate to say it this way. My wife does not watch wrestling. She is not interested in wrestling. She could give 2 craps about wrestling. If it's on, she'll watch it. And she's one of those marks. She like thinks, it's just, oh my God, he's going to kill him. But I was on my phone, and I saw that Chris Bey had retweeted the video. And she's like, who's that? And I'm like, damn it, the Jag's over here looking like Chris Bey plus 200 pounds. And she's like, who's that guy? And I'm like, oh, so you like Chris Bey. Because the guy looks like he got carved out of granite. You know,
absolutely.
The guy's phenomenal shape.
Yeah, and props to him because he continues to work at it every day. Like, you'll see on his Instagram or his Snapchat, it'll be 2 a.m. in Vegas, and he'll be at EOS working out, doing the backs. He is committed to it. He is 100%. When I say that this kid's a star, this kid's in the Jake Atlas, in
How
the
old is he?
stratosphere. 23.
Oh, he is a kid.
He's a young dude.
Man, I was 17 years old when that dude was born. Holy crap. Well, I'm going to let the young people do young people stuff because he was killing it. They were flipping, they were diving, they were suplexing out in the crowd.
But then they also had submission. They had great grappling, both from Facade and from Bey, which is one of those things that, if you're a high flyer, great, you can do that. But they also had the technical end of it. They knew how to slow it down. They knew how to drive the pace of their match, not necessarily what their opponent was wanting.
And there was some good, solid martial arts ninja action.
Absolutely.
Mr. Facade has obviously studied some martial arts. He had some kicks, some punches, some different things. I was really impressed by both of these guys. And actually, at one point, I really thought Facade might pull off the win. I felt that Chris Bey had the momentum. I've heard more about Chris Bey. I expected him to win, and in the end, of course, he retained. But for a minute, I was like, wow, Facade's going to get this.
Yeah, Facade's a great, great guy.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and Bey, I mean, he's so good, and he's on a winning streak right now. I think that's the only thing that stopped Facade from beating him.
Facade was the man. He did that thing, off the top rope, but there was like a top rope springboard exploder or something. It was redonkulous. I was like, he's done. He won. They're giving it to Facade, and Chris Bey, to his credit, he kicked out, and at the end, his hand was raised, man. It was impressive. Like, all in all, it was a hell of a night of wrestling at Maverick Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely. I thought it was a great show. It was my first time there. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I am a fan. And I mean, we kind of decided together to go to this show. So It wasn't like you were showing it to me, but of course, you're the encyclopedia.
I was taking it in with you in real time.
But you know everybody, you know everything, and so you got to put some, knowledge and impart some wisdom to the Jag. I am a fan of Maverick Pro Wrestling. I am a fan of the new belts. I'm a fan of the champions. I'm a fan of Chris Bey, Killer Kross, Katarina. This is serious. And where else are you going to see multiple AEW talents coming in, kicking butt, Impact Wrestling talents,
Exactly. In a show with 250 people.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
It was an intimate building, done right, paced right.
Yeah. Like, honestly, the action and the quality of the wrestling really betrayed the venue. I'm not saying the venue was bad, but like I would have expected to see this kind of action at a 2,000 person crowd arena.
No, absolutely. This is like when you go to PCW, this is PCW level of that. You know, where it's got the production, all of it. Absolutely.
See, I don't know diddly squat about PCW, but I'm guessing it's bigger than what we saw last night. But I won't say it's better because this was freaking awesome. So kudos to Maverick Pro Wrestling. The next show you have, the Jag will be there. I have a feeling the Encyclopedia will be there as well. So, in review, what do you say?
Absolutely. It was fantastic. It's a thumbs up.
Thumbs up from the Jag. So, Maverick Pro, you made me a fan. Chris Bey, Killer Kross, I am most definitely a fan of you guys, and I can't wait to see what you do next. And what's next for us?
How about some Orange Cassidy?
Ooh, finally.
We'll do some Orange Cassidy, and we'll start sprinkling in, and you'll learn the format of kind of how we're going to get you into, like, future episodes.
So is Orange Cassidy comedy wrestling?
Absolutely, but it takes a specific art, and I'll tease it this way. You have to be so good at wrestling that you can then do comedy wrestling and make it look like they do that.
Okay.
That's the bar they set.
All right, so Orange Cassidy is next. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this, thank you for making it to the end. Be sure to click that subscribe button. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at MakeMeAFan316. On Twitter at MakeMeAFan316. You can follow the Encyclopedia at Pete Trerice. You can follow the Jag at AKA the Jag. And I think that's it.
That's it.
Any final words?
No, I'm ready for next week.
Next week it is.